back, everybody. Kathy Arbor here, and today is Watercolor Tuesday. And today we're going to be doing a cute little bunny with a crown of spring flowers, maybe some pussy willows, and I don't know, anemones, something like that in the on his head. And it's going to be a very simple, more or less wet into wet in the bunny, and then more wet into dry on the flowers. So it's for beginner to advanced. It's just something really cute. You could use them on the Christmas, Easter cards, whatever you want to do. Hi, Ruth. Good to see you. So this could be made into stickers. It could be all kinds of stuff. It's just experimenting with some water, see how I can make some bunnies. So I'm going to try probably on watercolor because I want to get a little bit more movement from my watercolor. So last week we did this cute little stacked teacup with some clovers in it and shamrock, and then this was a transfer from my laser jet printer, printed on sticker waste paper. Hey Joan, Dot, good to see you. And it turned out pretty good. The trick with transferring that though is best to have gel medium, not fluid medium. You want something a little thicker, and you have to let it dry. So I'm not going to be using this book today. I'm going to be using a piece of watercolor paper, which I didn't get out. Just hold on, I'll have to find it. Where did I put it? This one. Mixed media. Good heavens, I know I have a ton of watercolor paper. Where did I put it all? Here's one of these, I guess. We'll use this one. And if you were here on Thursday, we did this spring scene of a little stream going through a woodland area. And this was beginner easy, believe it or not. It's not that difficult. It's more about using your brushes, sponges for the texture of the leaved areas and rock and dry brushing, speckling, that type of thing. Hey, Kim. Julianne, good to see you. So I hope you'll try that one out. That was last Thursday. So I'm just gonna use this block here. Oh, it's not a block. Okay. This is I believe 140 pound. Yes, 140 pound, 300 GSM. And I have a and I'm probably going to have this fit into my page here. So try and keep the bunny. Maybe I should cut it. Will it fit? No, it won't fit too. So let's see. I just have to mark it so I don't go past a certain area. I have my, that's kind of, let me turn out one light. Nope, that didn't work. I can just put it up here, I think. Is that better? That's a little better. Kind of blurred out a bit. Hey, Janet. So this bunny, I don't have a pattern for it, but I can put one up if you want me to. It's going to be just off the top of my head type of thing. So it's not necessarily going to be a realistic bunny. You can make them all kinds of ways. You can make them cutie type. I did have a book with that in there, but I'm not sure where I put that book. I did a bunch of character bunnies in my other sketchbook. We'll just wing it. So I'm going to do like a more or less a headshot type of thing. And I want to, let's see, just make sure I have the right background here. I'm just going to draw a line down there. And so I know where to stop. I think that's bright. Let's darken this a little bit. That's better. Now you can see. So how's everyone doing today? So we're going to put this cute little bunny. So I'm going to kind of do maybe a 3/4 side view of the bunny. And it's mostly going to be the head. So let's see. The ears are going to be about the same size as the head. So I want to start down here probably. They kind of have a pointy head, kind of a pear shape actually. So we'll have that, and his ears will go like this. his little eyeball will be about here. And his mouth. See, little mouth on him. Little chin. He's kind of fat, so they got lots of fur. It kind of looks like they're see, I think it's the back of his head. See more of that, and the little jowls there. And then approximately there would be his eye. So, and then his little nose right in here. So let's bring that up there. Something like that. And then he'll have his little whiskers like that. This could be kind of shaggy looking. And then right in here, I want a bunch of flowers. So we'll have, I don't know, anemones maybe. They're all starting to come up now. So I'm just going to put a bunch of flowers. And then what I'll do is erase the areas that it's overlapping. Maybe some leaves. I'll put some maybe pussy willows in there. You can cover part of the year. Maybe show that there's some behind here, so you wouldn't see some of those stems. Maybe a few leaves here. Just throw in a bunch. Maybe the pussy willow could be the you know how you make a wreath out of grapevine? Well, maybe this is the pussy willow vine that we make the wreath in. It's kind of like a nest. And then just stick out a few areas where you'll have the pussy willows on. And his eyeball, let's see, like that. A little bit of a flint. Okay, so that's basically what it looks like. So now I'm going to take my kneaded eraser and just rub out some areas so it's not so hard looking. So just lightly go over it. There. So I think I'll do the flowers first, and anemones come in kind of a periwinkle blue or deep purple. There's cream or white. There's a soft pink. I think I'm going to do mine in probably, let's see, I have quinacridone lake. That might look good. I've got this, I might take out my other one too. I have this one that we're working with, the palette. Let's see, I could, oh, that's a nice one there. Purple, that's a nice purple, I like that. So, when was that? I think it's this one. I don't think I put it in a container. Yeah, I'm going to use this one. It's called color of it. Just by Ultimare Violet. No, Ultramarine Blue Violet. Yes. So I'm just going to put a little dab right here in my palette. Don't need a whole lot. It's very powerful color. And we'll just add some water. A bit too much water there. And just grab a little bit off of it. It all depends on how strong of a color you want. So if you put a lot of water down, then you're going to have a fairly light purple. So let's put some of these in. I always like to go a little lighter in my first application of watercolor. Now I'll stick to some of these drawing areas, but I'm not worried if I put in something else. That was just kind of an indication of where I could put stuff. This is going to be very loose. I just have to watch where the ears are because I don't want to go into the ears at all. Anemones are fairly spiky looking. Let's see. Put one here. And then we'll put some maybe a few leaves in, or some pussy willows. So pussy willows, branches, let's see, raw umber probably would be the best. They're fairly dark. So let's put some raw umber on here. Spray this. What other color? Yellow. And I'm just going to put a few lines in. I'm not going to go all the way around though, like through the flowers. Just kind of have to skip areas so that it kind of looks like you've got some sticks and stuff. Be more condensed in the center here, color-wise. So it'd be overlapping. I'm going to take, let's see, maybe a little bit of ivory black with that too, just to darken it a little bit. So I want some darker ones in here too. Just to give it a little more depth. Cross them. Back in here maybe. Do you want me to bring you guys in so you can see a little bit better? Is this dark, light enough, or should I lighten it? Some black maybe. Dark. Just add a few in, just to give a little bit of dimension. You want to always use just one color with sticks or branches. There's usually quite a few colors. Okay, so let's put in a few pussy willows too. So the pussy willows are going to be more on the gray side. So I've got some ivory black here, and I want it fairly condensed, like the pigment fairly thick. Bring us a bit, please. Is that good, or do you want me to come in more? Your donkey looks like, or your bunny looks like a donkey. Well, you could do a donkey too. Just go with it. Hey, Brenda. I'll bring you in a little bit, just a smidge, just so that you can see things. Okay, so for Pussy Willows, I'm going to try just wetting an area with my brush and then just dabbing in the center and let it fuzz out. So let's see, put a few in. You have to do them individually because you won't see where they are. So I'm just taking the shape of the brush. And let the paint do its thing. Maybe one in here. That one, I can just take my brush, take the water out, take some of it away if it's too big. Let's see. Maybe one in here. I don't like that one, so I'm going to take it off. I'm going to make that a leaf, I think. I'm going to put a few over here, I think. I'm going to put a... Where did I put it now? See, you can lose them. Oh, that one dried up quick. It's hard to tell. I think it was there. Another one there. Another one here. So just dabs. Maybe need a little bit more water in there. I don't want them too dark. Take some of that one away. All right. And then I'm going to go back to that brown mixture. Make a bit more for some more stems. A little bit of black. Make it a little darker. And then I can take and add some stems. Like that. Hey, cat, Gar. Okay, so let's dry that up so we don't mess anything up. Now we can put a few green things in. We could mix one. Let's see. Don't have a dark green in here. So let's use blue cayenne color. And a nice, let's use this Cad Lemon. Let's see what we get. Makes a really bright green. That's a pretty spring green. A little more. And let's put just a few leaves in. Now we can make these leaves light, dark, whatever. And I'm using the shape of my brush to give it the leaf shape. So we'll put a few in. And you can put a little bit of green in between areas too in the center part here. So it would be a little more color in between there. So you can just throw in a bit of green there. And you can put as many as you want. You can go back in later too if you don't think there's enough green. Well, thanks, Joan. So the flowers, we'll put some little bit of dimension in. So I'm going to take that color again, and I haven't mixed any other color with it, straight. But I want it a little bit more pigmented this time. A little darker. And from the center or bottom, closest to this where the stem would be, I'm just going to darken those areas a little bit. Kind of streak it. And from the inside of the flower, just put some lines in, streaking with the tip of your brush. And then you can soften it by just adding some clean water if you want to give it a little bit of a softer look. You can also do the same thing with wetting your areas first too. So I'll show you. So in the center of this one, I would just wet the center. So pretend you're painting with a color, but you're not. And then just add your color in the center, and it'll eventually travel up. And then we'll put some gouache to finish it off in the center. All right, so we'll leave that for now. Now the bunny, I'm going to put a wash of a light gray, I think, but I'm going to keep some areas a little lighter. So like around the outside of his eye, I'm going to keep that a little bit on the light side. And just under his nose, right in here, his chin will be a little lighter. So we've got some gray here. Let's mix a little bit. That was the ivory black. I'm going to mix a little bit of this color with it. Add some water to it. Oop, got green in there. I don't want that green. Let's try that again. And then I'm just going to wet an area for now where I want the darker areas to be. And then just dip my brush in the color. So I put on a bit of color and then I take a clean brush and go beside it, and it makes the color you put down travel, but it's lighter. I have to kind of paint around some of these flowers, but that's fine. I want a little bit more. Let that dry a little bit before I add more. I want the eye to be a little bit whiter. And be darker around the flowers. So you can add a little bit more color under there. And at the side would be dark. This is just the first coat, so remember you're going to be adding layers onto this. I'm just going to kind of sweep it out so that it's jagged on the outer edge. And just around this part here. A little bit of shadow. Clean water, let it do its thing. And right around, let's see, there. And right in here would be darker. And under his neck is fairly dark, but leave that chin white. And you can do his ears too. So probably have a side view on this one because he's turned. So you'll be able to see a bit of the inside of his ear there. So I'm going to add, I'll just put that in right now. So more or less like that. Around the leaves. And then around the outside here, be darker. Now I'm going to make the inside around this pussy willow darker. Be darker around there. So it's kind of the inside of his ear. And that'll help with the pussy willow showing up a little better. This one. This one you wouldn't see the inside of it. I'm going to have to make this area here a little bit darker. That's okay. Some bunnies' ears are darker. Or you could leave it and use your markers, or not markers, ink to help with that. I'm going to add a little bit of the raw umber to that color. And this one's going to be a little bit darker, I think. So I added a little bit of umber to this mix. So you just work your way around the flowers. Nice thing about these brushes, they have a nice fine point. That. And then the inside of his ears is kind of peachy pink hue to it. So let's see what we can use here. How about alizarin crimson red? Let's try that one. It's a nice color. We'll put it over here. I just need a very light coat of it right in here. And I can actually put just a smidge in here. Sometimes, because their ears are so thin, you can see the blood flow through the ears. Okay, let's do a little more on the chin here. Let's see. Kind of hard to see my lines. Tap. Kind of looks like fur. I'm going to go into this part. A little bit more gray. And then we can do a little bit more in here. And just using the tip of my brush. A little bit more on the top of the head. So it's just a matter of just lightly building up your colors. So let's see, a bit here. I'm going to keep this fairly light. A little more around the flower. In here there'd be shadow. Under the leaf. This would be darker. I'm going to put the forehead in here. And always soften edges too. Now, if you're doing it in a sketchbook, it's a little harder. You kind of have to do it as you're painting. Let's see. Take some out here, a little bit. That white. Let's see. Take a stiffer brush. Do that. Just a smidge. Let's put his nose in. Now his nose will be kind of the same color as the inside of the ear here. So it'll be a little darker on the bottom. Let's get some more of that. What was it? This one. So a little bit more of a concentration of color there. And then I just take a clean brush, some water, and lighten it up. Now it kind of goes to, it's kind of a diamond shape, their nose. Like that. So a little bit gray along the edge. That. And let's see, I like the blooming too that happened, because that can go to your benefit, I find, if you let things bloom a little bit, because it kind of gives it texture. See the ears? I like that. Okay, so let's dry that up. Michelle just posted a pic on Instagram of flowers like Kathy has painted. Oh yeah, I'll have to take a look. On your Instagram, Dot. Let's see. Oh, cool. Those are pretty. What kind of flowers are those, Dot? That's pretty. It's hard to, I can't, for some reason I can't. It's kind of a bluey mauve shade. They're singles though. I haven't seen those before. Pretty. And just going to take a little bit more water. And I just want a little bit of this. I don't want it white. So I'm just going to cover it a little bit. Just so it's not out in my face type of thing. Same with this here. And then I can put a little bit more down here because this would be shadowed. His ear is turned slightly. So just make a little darker. And I think I'll have the tips of his ears more dark. Let's give it a soft edge by putting some clean water on it. That. I think I'm going to do the tops of the ears a little darker, so we'll add a little bit more. That raw umber, a little bit of lamp black. Just so that it's nice and dark. Even a little darker. There, that's better. Usually you do see their ears just slightly dark tipped. And then soften the edge and let it dry. And the same goes for this here. This will be a little more on, remember this one's turned slightly, so you'll see that edge being a little darker. And add a little bit more on the top. Let it bleed. And right in here, I think. And then soften it. Just don't want a real hard line there. And soften the inside here a little bit. I think that needs to go down more like this. It looks like a bulb. It almost looks like a Star of Bethlehem or something. And then under his little mouth here, I think that needs to be darker. His little, oh, I don't know, cheeks, I guess. Oh, great, Brenda. I think I need to get rid of all snoopers on my Insta and start posting again. Yeah, I'd like to see your stuff. And I'm going to use probably a little bit of more of a warmer brown, like Van Dyke brown. Just a bit. So I want a little bit of warm color. Sometimes they have this kind of reddish tinge in parts of their fur. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that here and there. Let it bleed in wherever it may go. Was there a printout? I don't, but I can make one and put it up for you later. You just have to wait for me to put it up, that's all. It won't take long. And his eyes are going to be kind of a gray, I think. Maybe a tad of blue in them. Outline them first, though. And let's see. That, and no, I can do it. I usually get quite a few people asking anyway, so no problem. Part of the membership. This one is a little different up here, this eye, because you're kind of seeing through it. So it looks a little different. Let's put a little purple with this. And we'll put the highlight back in. Might have to use white gouache. I'm going to take a little bit of this out right here. And we'll do the whiskers with ink. Now I can put a little bit more depth by adding a little bit more dark to this. So let's see, little chin. I've got that soft black again, or ivory black. Just, I don't want a hard line, so just go over that part. I guess I could. And let's see, maybe a little bit more in here. Give more dimension. Brown and black together. You just have to take your time. Have fun with it. A little more up here. I'm just making a little bit of difference in the color here, but wisping it out into the center of the ear. Now you can make more detail on the fur if you want, or you can leave it smooth. It's basically what your preference is. There's no wrong way of doing this. You could use pen also if you want to make more details. Now, I see a line. I don't like that. So let's take that out there. Okay. So now I'm going to dry it and I'm going to do some pen work. You want to make sure it's really good and dry before you put the pen on. And I'm going to use a fairly thin pen, I think. 3 or that's a 1. Let's see. Here's a 5. Three. What's this one? Okay, this is 5 or no, I'll use the 1. Okay, so now you can actually draw lines, or depending on how much detail you want, really depends on you. So I know my pussy willows, I'm just going to mark where some of those stems are. And I might put some dots along the outer edge, maybe on some of them, not on the whole thing, but on some where they would be speckled. So this is a very fine pen. Just dots. I'm concentrating the dots around the bottom of the pussy willow. And then they're farther apart as you go up towards the center. Do you want me to bring you guys in more? Let me know. Where? There. I guess I didn't put any there. I'll put some. This one needs to be more prevalent. It's kind of hiding because of the ear color is so similar. It's now a kangaroo. Well, actually, bunnies kind of look like kangaroos, their face. So you're close. You're close to Kim. So I'm going in the direction that the plant would be growing. So like I always tell you guys about direction of fur or hair, well, the same kind of applies to pussy willows. So kind of on an angle, actually. Little wisps. Little dots in the center. So make it how you want. Just relax. It's kind of like doodling when you get to this point, for me anyways. So just relax, enjoy it, experiment with it, see what works. And I'll just probably put this in my sketchbook. Might have a few maybe behind the area. You might have some hiding behind some of these. There's one there. They're cute. I like doing these. And we can add some white to these too. Put their stems in. And then we can do the this brown part, our stems. So we can add some shading, or you can separate some of them so you can distinguish which way they're going. So they'll be overlapping. Some will be hidden by other things. So you just kind of play with it. See what you can figure out. You can darken areas, make it more shadowed if you want. You could do that with pen, or you can do it with the watercolor. There's the leaf here. So some of these are intertwined. Just have fun with it. I'm going to make that part a little bit more of the ear, I think. I think this is going to be Pussy Willow here, though. There's the leaf. there. Thanks, Joan. He's cute. Let's see. Have this leaf there, maybe there, there. See how the pen work just brings stuff out? I will do some of these flowers in here. Let's see. Just so that we can distinguish how they are, and then we'll put the centers in. So let's see. Some will be overlapping. Others. So I just concentrated on the center part here, but you can if you find that it needs more defining of the flower, just keep adding stuff to it. And we'll just keep some of these. I'm not kind of outlining. I'm more or less thinking about shadowed areas. Now I know the petals are usually overlapping each other. They're quite thick with petals. That's the nice thing about doing this type of flower is you just have to find the center and just work it in. It's almost like a daisy. A few more in here. Need to be shown a little bit better. Maybe in here. This is a bud, I think. Now I can go back in here and put in more color if I wanted to in the areas that are whiter, because those areas would be dark because they're in shadow. So that's why I like using a waterproof pen, because then I don't have to worry about smearing the ink. My biggest, I have put more images on my Instagram. Tiny tulip and narcissus, both about 1.5 inches in diameter. Oh wow! I've got little narcissus like those. They're so cool. I don't have tulips like that though. My biggest challenge with watercolor is that I am always trying for a smooth blend. Can't let go and develop texture. That'll come in time, Michelle. You just have to keep it up. Just practice. All right, so this eye, let's do this eye. Would be like that. And fairly dark. We'll put the shadow in, or the highlight. Now we could use a little bit more shadow, I think, in the eye. And then just some fur. We'll do that in a minute. This one. I'll just put a few eyelashes in. And I'm going to darken this here, probably. His little nose, let's see. Comes down like that. And then there's a little like that. And then this. That. And just a few. I'm following the watercolor edges. There's different tones of this gray. So I'm just going to put a few of those tones separated by this pen. And that will kind of give indication of the fur. Where it would be a little bit darker shaded because of the way the neck tilts and stuff. Just to make it a little fuzzier. In here. But I still have to remember the way the fur would be going. Be a little darker under there. And then the ears, a little bit fuzzy on the top, maybe. We'll just add a few fuzz balls there. And right in here, be it a little bit darker. Maybe a few along the edge of the ear, just to show that it's, don't make them too long though, just shorter marks. Random. You don't want them all in a row, because that won't look natural. And then just a few on here. Make them a little bit fuzzy. And right in here, I'm going to put a few, just to darken around these flowers. So I know that that would be a fairly dark area anyways, so we're just going to make that dark in there. And right in here, this here. I think that can be a pussy willow right there. And you darken some areas. You know, that weaving of the different types of, well, I guess it was all pussy willow branches. There'd probably be some fairly dark areas in there too, so you can add a few there. And I'm just going to add a little bit around, just some very small dotted around the shadowed area here, just to darken that a little bit more. But I have to make sure I'm going the right way, so make sure you pay attention to your direction. And within here, darker. You don't have to do it all, but you can do more or less the shaded areas with strokes. That way, it's not as overwhelming, number one. And it just adds a little bit of texture too. So maybe a few down here. Just a few. Where the chin would be, it'd be darker. Okay. A little bit on the nose, just dots. Want more, a little bit more concentrated on here. In the center. Can be just dots too. It doesn't all have to be the same size. And just a few down in here. It's kind of a scruffy looking rabbit. It's okay. Just got out from the hibernation. All right, so now let's put in a little bit more color on that eye. And I think I'm gonna do a little, what color? Maybe a little bluish color. Just want a little bit of blue in his eye. And I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of this black. So it's more of a gray blue. Be a little bit darker in here. And up here. Just around the edge. That. And that can be fairly dark. Pupil. And then let's dry that and we'll put a highlight on and some, yeah, the pen work does wonders. Okay. Some gouache. And I need a small brush. Just like that. And that one's not too bad. Make this a little bigger. Like that. Let's put a little bit on his nose. And then some yellow. Do I have yellow? I think I do. Or I could use a marker. No, I think I use gouache. That'll be more. Just stirring this up a little bit. And a paper towel. Now, usually the centers are, I don't have many gouache colors. So I'm going to see if this works. Hi, Lori. No, that one's. I do not like these pens. Don't get these pens. They're terrible. I want a light yellow. Let's see if this. Oh, what's this one here? No. No, I guess I'll just. Maybe I should make it yellow. Oh, let's put the dabs on. So these usually have quite a few. Let's see if this is going to work. Yeah, that's not bad. Stamens. Around the flower. Just put a whole bunch in. You could use a marker too. I just thought I'd use the squash since I've got it. I may as well use it. And a very fine brush. Maybe some in here. Hold your breath. Always helps. Right here. That. You guys can't see them that well. Let's try them and see how well they show up. I might have to use white because the watercolor sucks it up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to use white. So I'm gonna use a white pen. It might soak some of the color up. It's hard to say, but we'll see. Where did I put my white marker? Black. Gold. There it is. So, will it work? We'll see. A little better. In and amongst the yellow ones. Brightens it up a little bit. Shake it again. This is a fine liner one. I'm going to put a few in the, just in the center of the pussy willow. Just dots. Just where you think you might need them. And I'm going to put a little bit of white in his ear too. It'll just add to it. That. Maybe some highlights in the branch. Just here and there, wherever you think it might be shining on it. It's going to soak up some of that brown, so it will look different once it's dry. But it gives it a little bit more detail. Who doesn't like detail? cute. I think he needs a little bit more shadow on his nose, just a smidge. So a little bit more of that. What was it again? English red light, it's called. Very pretty color. And soften the edge. Like that. And maybe a smidgen more in the ear, right in here. And take some clean water and soften the edge. A smidge. Oh my, it's probably cute. You got to show it. I want to see it. And I think it needs some shadowed area there under his mouth, because it would be a little bit of a shadow in there. And clean brush. A little bit more. Here, he's cute. Now you could take, depending on how much pen work you want to do, you could take white pen too, because sometimes you see white in their fur. So let's put a few little strokes in here, just here and there. Doesn't have to be a lot, just a bit. Maybe in here, his fur, maybe in the lighter areas. In his ear a little bit in here, maybe. There, so just a smidge. Just looking at this. It's colored in a little bit. I want a kind of a highlight on the top of his nose there. There. Maybe, let's see. Some of the petals might have a little bit of highlight on them. And I'm going to shadow a little bit. Oop, not that one. Just this right here. I got a little bit of a shadow down there. Just looking at the area and seeing where else. Take some of these specks of white out. That's too bright there. Because that would be fairly dark in there. That's part of his ear in there, I think. That comes down there, maybe. So I don't want a whole lot of white in these areas because that's where it would be dark. Either from his fur or shadowed from the sticks and stuff. So it doesn't hurt to go back. And I can because the fact that I used a waterproof pen. There, I think he's done. Or she. I guess it's a she. And there's our little spring bunny. So I'll draw it up for you and I'll put it on the membership in YouTube under the community page, or on the Patreon page. I'll put the drawing and I'll put the reference too, so you can see how I did it. And if you're not a member, I will put a little link up in the corner there after I'm done this video. I think he's a she and she needs a name, maybe Midge, Smidge. Midge. That's a good one. I like it. Midge. She's all ready for spring. So and today is the 22nd. So 3, 2, 2. I can just put 3, 2, 2. That's cute. I like her. I think she's cute. All right, so I'll let you guys go, and you have a fantastic rest of the week. And for the blooming artist and budding artist, I will have a video for the budding artist up on Friday, and Saturday will be the live for the blooming artists. And I will post the link in the community page or on the Patreon page. So look for that, and have a fantastic week. Get your sketchbooks out, do some sketching, painting, whatever. All right. Bye for now, everyone.